Yeah. Sorry. So I've been decided for local informal for a simple reason. This a program, this an activity really target, all and something. Yeah. But however, we can do the switch in between. Yeah. So that we understand what's clearly. Sorry about it, but thank you for your understanding.
Okay, so the conference, the National Labour Conference, is going to be on the 30th of this month at Miata Conference Hall. And so there's a link for you to register prior to the conference. And also there's also going to be a job fair or trade fair or expo alongside the conference, where we encourage the businesses to either set up booths if they have them, or register for a booth for that event. So it takes place the 30th of April and the 1st of May. And also we have an award ceremony. There's also a link for you to nominate those you think have made tremendous contributions within the labor movement. I'm sure Mr. Bokari, Commission of Labor, will share the link for you to nominate those you think deserve the award.
So away from that, so let's go back to the conference. For the conference, we have several topics and things that are geared towards the future of work. So on the 30th of this month, we're going to have a National Labour Conference. It's a mixed bag of so many issues that we want to talk about. From the employer's point of view, from the private sector point of view, from the government's point of view. We want to have a moment of reflection, with respect to labor and employment, and where we are. And that very conference definitely will discuss some statistical issues in terms of job creation. And so you will be having the opportunity to ask questions, just so that we all align our thoughts, with respect to the future of work. Taking into consideration, AI is already knocking at our door, and that's something also we need to discuss. From the certain context, how are we going to manage that aspect of AI and employment as well, the upskilling, the reskilling aspect, and so forth and so on. So the conference is very much important, for the 30th. Then the 29th, we intend to have, we plan already to have a social dialogue forum, wherein we have key players in the room, ministries, departments, and agencies as well, to discuss critical issues with respect to labor and employment and beyond that. So in terms of the arrangements, the approach we are using is not just a tripartite approach, it's a tripartite plus approach. Because most of these issues are coming from you, so we want to discuss them and see how best we can develop a paper for the 29th on the Strategy for. Then the title, of course, the Labor Conference. So all the events, we'll start the sessions from the morning hour down to the evening. One session after another is going to be rich. We have speakers who are knowledgeable already with respect to the landscape, the layout of the land, labor and employment, and so forth and so on. Decent work. The list goes on and on. So the speakers are already set. These are experts in their own right. We'll have a moment to ask questions and brainstorm some of these issues for the 30th. And of course, concurrently, we're going to have the job fair. So the job fair will definitely kickstart from the beginning, the 29th going down to the 1st of May. On the 1st of May, definitely one of the traditional thing. Labour Congress, of course, they are very much excited about this one for this year, because we are adding value to it. So on the 1st of May, which is Labor Day, it's our day. We want to celebrate labor. So traditionally, definitely, we'll gather again at the same venue where the job fair will be going on, entertainment will be going on during the day. Of course, we'll be having the president also to give the keynote. He's the first worker or the first gentleman within the labor and employment landscape. So the 4th of May, also in the evening, we are going to have the Labour Award. For the platform and the station aspect of it, Mr. Leone will just demonstrate and give us an update as part of where we are with respect to the platform. If you want to vote, how you can go about the voting process. If you want to register, how you can register as well. One thing that is very clear, like I said, we are adding value. The entire process itself is what should I say, you are the expert in this. It's technologically based, it has that component. Even when you want to partake, you register first and then we'll send you a notification. I'm not an expert in that. He's going to brief us as to where we are with respect to that. I've received several calls as to how you can partake, so this is a problem for us to actually answer those questions and move the way forward. The job fair is critical for us. It's the first time as a ministry we're having a job fair. We'll be part of what the job fair will supported all the stakeholders over the years, but this is ours now. It's labeled. It's for all of us. So we are going to have different groups, from the SMEs down to the private sector, the NGOs, and so forth and so on. Why are we doing that? We want to create a platform for job seekers, for interns, for them to be able to understand the employment layer, from a private sector perspective, from an NGO perspective. It's also a platform for some business houses to be able to market, whatever goods they are out there. It promotes the aspect of local content as well. And then networking is good, so it's an opportunity for us to meet and network. You can demonstrate, you can do, whatever you think you can do, just so that the visibility is out there with respect to your company's representation. So the job here is key. You are at liberty to build your own booths. For the SMEs, there's an arrangement for them to have their booth. There's a body responsible to support them. These are small businesses anyway. So for the private sector players, you are charged with the responsibility to build your own booth. And somebody asked me today, just like this, we have a lot of people coming. And I said to them, they were asking about the timeliness in terms of building the booth. It would be good for us to build the booth the 29th, the 28th. And the 28th should be a public holiday. So it's so easy for companies to just organize themselves and then build the booth. Because once we keep that on the 29th, time will not be in our favor to build the booth, and the space will not be enough anyway. So in this meeting, we'll definitely discuss and agree and see how we can navigate that through all of this. I will go over to Mr. Raymond. We'll talk about the registration process, where we are, the feedback so far, and then we will send the board back to your call to ask your questions. As I promised earlier on, I'm a very progressive person. This meeting will not last more than 1 hour. So thank you very much and welcome once again.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Raymond, this is George. I'm a member of the core technical team for the NLC. So far, we've received over 1,000, just over 1,000 people who want to be part of the conference. And we have the registration aspect as well as the voting aspect. So on the registration aspect, you can simply go to the website, which is SLNLC 2025. So it's like the short abbreviation for Sierra Leone National Labour Conference 2025.org. And then there's a QR code there you can scan, and then immediately a form will be open to you. That's for the registration aspect. A lot of some information will be collected from you, and then if you want to vote, take part in the awards, you have to go to on the same website. You go to the link, awards and dinner, and then you go to the nomination aspect, and then you'll see a list of categories in which you decide who, which of these organizations or institutions have performed. Sorry?
Yeah, sorry. Can you please go by the website?
SLNLC, the abbreviation of the Sierra Leone National Labour Conference 2025, just one. SLNLC2025.org. SLNLC 2025 website. So, like I said, the two aspects, the registration and the nomination. The nomination is for the awards. The registration is for you to be part of the conference. Thank you. Okay. So far, based on the information we've been collecting from the registration, we found out that a lot of the people who have registered fall under the student category. And the workers, we've seen only 25% of the total number, 28% of the total number of people who registered. Workers, we have 16% job seekers, and we have labor activists, we have those who fall under the informal sector, others. And then, based on the level of management, we have mainly the senior management people have registered. Close to 40% of the total registered people who registered are senior management, and middle management we have just about 30%. And those who are not in management at all are just around 23%. For the sectors, with 26% are government workers, 27, close to 28% are fall under the NGO and development partners, and then 26% from the private or business sector. And the rest fall under labor unions, the media, and academia. And we've so far we found out that almost close to 80% of the people who have registered are not members of the labor union. And majority of the people who've registered have employees, just over 1 to 10, just about 1 to 10 people. So that means those who have employees 11 to 100 have not been part of the registration process so far. So we look forward to more people registering, and you immediately receive an email that you've registered. But another email will be coming later because some people will be, I wouldn't say handpicked, yeah, but due to the constraints of space at the NIATA conference, or not everybody will be inside. So we have to handpick those who will be inside. Thank you.
So I'll go back to you later on. I think it's very clear. Did you announce the website again, so you can actually access the website here, the NS website? We actually, it's a public thing, of course, it's a public forum event, but when it comes to the conference itself,
as you rightly mentioned, the space is not there for us to actually. The space is not there for us to actually, just capture all in some way. So,
it's to
do that
you register and be part of the conference, especially the one for the 30th,
different topic and
different issues. Yeah, so we want to talk about boots. Yeah, because we receive a lot of questions
about the books.
and what's up.
Okay, so for those who are interested in mounting boots for events for the 29th and the 30th, and also the cost, you can reach out to me after this short meeting.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I was saying those interested in mounting booths for the National Labour Conference, the 29th, the 30th, and the 1st of May. You can reach out to me after the short meeting.
Okay, so let's make progress. The ball now is in your court. Let's have a conversation, ask your questions, and let's proceed. Yes. Questions, clarification, feedback. So, as I already mentioned, we'll do the switching. Yeah, we'll go formal and informal as well. So you can ask your question and seek clarification. Yes.
My question will be for the first. So you're going to handpick. Will you send a formal invitation to maybe the organization who you want to be represented? So you will not all just go there and then you will say no, you can you get a formal invitation?
Yes, you get a formal invitation via email, a soft copy invitation.
That is for the facts here.
No, I think
Which one, the 30th?
let's be clear. We are having the social dialogue program on the 29th. Yeah, we'll send the invite out. Definitely the vice president will chair the session, and then on the 30th we have the labor conference. Yeah, and then the 1st of May, now the traditional May Day celebration. Yeah, when we just gather, lobby match powers and so forth and so on. While the job fair event will still be in progress. So I don't know which one you're actually referring to. Because of the conference, you should definitely, register. Then there will be an email that will be sent, to confirm your participation. So which one are you actually referring to?
For me, for each of the events, because we know me as a conference, I went recently for the NGO. We need to have at least the number of people that the hall can take, and then we invite those people to in each of these. Because for the registration, as the numbers you've given, there are a lot more people that are registered after today. Can Miata conference take all of us? So for me, each event, you need to know which audience you're targeting and how many people you want.
Definitely. The planning committee, we have that at the back of our mind to go back and see and look at the category, and those are who actually want for ABC and D. So that will be their tweets, and we'll send out the notification. But as it is, just continue with the registration process. Yes. Let's ask. Yeah.
Yes, Chief. Pakistan from Leone.
Of course, Mr. You have explained the registration process. That you said the registration is for the participation of the conference, right? So the one for the award ceremony is based on what? Is as per company performance, and the other thing, who will vote for this award?
Thank you. So I'll go back to Mr. Raymond. We will go through the what we have now, real-time data that we have. But let's talk about the award. We want to recognize those who have actually contributed significantly when it comes to the success story of labor and employment across the country, irrespective of your sector, as an institution and as an individual. So that's the spirit of that event. Definitely, it will not be an open kind of event. We'll send out the invitations to those parties who are concerned and those are the stakeholders. And those who we have captured already to receive awards, or those who eventually will be voted for, to receive awards. So we have an audience for that. There's an arrangement for that. But I will turn back to Mr. Raymond. He will take you through the different categories and where we are with respect to the Labor Award.
Okay. The voting guidelines. The voting is open to the public, and you may vote only once, or one per candidate, and then each vote counts towards the determining the winner of each category. The voting closes on the 18th of April at 5 p.m. And here are the categories. The first one is it's a merit award for higher education institution of the year, and you have a list. The list was brought up by the planning committee. Another merit award for technical and professional training institution of the year, agricultural company of the year, healthcare institution of the year. So yeah, it's a long list, and it has to do again with the big five.
So you just go to the website. I mean, the list goes on and on. We just want to, there are certain information when it comes to voting and stuff, you have to manage it, but it's public. We want to be transparent. You just go to the site, you see the categories, you do your voting, and then that's it. It's public. At the end of the day, we'll collate all of this data. During the dinner, of course, we'll definitely demonstrate, how do we get to where, in terms of who will be awarded. So it's a transparent thing. Just go to the website. Yes. Let's have a conversation. This meeting is for you. So let's have a conversation. Yeah. There's a man.
Good afternoon. I'm Kabai, the Human Resource Manager at Capital Foods. My question is directed to in terms of the job fair, you said in your statement we should meet you after this meeting for us that have interest in setting up a booth. For me, what I would say, why not giving the information? Maybe there are other people who might have interest in it. Maybe after this meeting they're busy, they cannot able to meet you personally. So I would advise maybe you share the information that you want us to know in terms of erecting a booth.
Okay. Yeah, more feedback, questions?
We just submerge the place with boots, eh? So that's more reason why you need to coordinate with Madam Georgiana, because as I'm speaking, I'm telling you that we are receiving calls everywhere. So I'm just having like a mental picture. How are we going to that Miata conference place? Maybe we have to just block the streets or somewhere and we utilize the entire building, but it's going to be massive. But I will encourage you to coordinate that with Madam Georgiana as soon as possible, because definitely we have to size up the booths. We have the bigger ones, medium size or smaller ones, and so we have to do that kind of measurement when it comes to setting up of the booth. So it will be good you reach out to her, and let's see how best we can accommodate as many people as we can. The program is for you. This is labor. Yes.
So for those interested in setting up a booth, my number is 078 078 149032. And also, if you go to the website, you'll see all the numbers that you can also reach out to if I'm unable to respond. Georgiana. Georgiana.
Yes, more feedback. And also not just your feedback when it comes to your participation, but feedback also in terms of adding value to the event itself. What ideas you think we should consider as a ministry, just so that we have something different, in terms of organizing such an event. So your ideas are welcome. We still have a couple of weeks. We can still fine-tune whatever we can fine-tune just to make it better. It's maiden, it's the first one, it's a novelty. So let's make history together. I'm sure next year and beyond it's definitely going to be better and better. It can only be better, so we need more ideas. Yes, ma'am.
Can we go over what will happen on the respective days, please?
On the respective dates. Let me start with the 29th. It's a social dialogue forum. It gears towards addressing burning issues when it comes to labor and employment. And definitely we have the Silent Labor Congress, our social partner. They will definitely have an issue paper to present on the very day. We will have, panelists from different NDs focusing on the big five as well and the critical issues that we want to talk about. Say, for example, issues relating to minimum wage, issues relating to the right of a worker, negotiations, dialogue, how can we promote industrial peace and harmony, and so forth and so on. So it's going to be a real dialogue on some of those issues that are affecting the labor landscape. So that's an important event as well that you don't want to miss out. The Vice President, of course, is very much excited about that one. That's a discussion we had sometime last year. So we want to inject that one into this May conference for 2025. So that's it for that day. I'm not too sure whether it will be a whole day event. Probably will start in the morning, 9, and then by 12:1, I'm sure. It depends again, because you cannot control the conversation. If you are talking about issues related to end-of-life benefit or taxation on end-of-life benefits on ABC and E, you know what I mean? These subjects they are very much critical. So you have to be part of that conversation. You have to be part of it. And then on the 30th day, the conference definitely will kickstart. As I mentioned earlier, there are different topics, there are different areas we want to look at. We have speakers already. We have facilitators and panelists that will be charged with the responsibility to talk around those issues. And then, of course, the audience will give their feedback. At the end of the day, I'm sure we'll fertilize our ideas when it comes to labor and employment. So we have an aligned thought or vision, with respect to the future of work. That's for the 30th. The 1st of May, traditionally, is May Day. It's public holiday, in fact, right? So it's not new, but we're adding value. We'll still gather at the Miata conference massively. The trade unions will be all over the place, the bike riders, the keke riders, the market union, traders union, all of us. And I'm sure the Labour Congress, they are very much on top of that. It's going to be big on May Day. We are definitely expecting the first gentleman or the first worker of the land to be there to give his May Day speech. We'll celebrate together. Entertainment on the sidelines. While the job fair will still be going on. Remember, the job fair kickstart on the 29th, throughout the 30th, and then the 1st. So by the time we finish the May Day celebration, maybe in the evening hours, as the case may be, we are done for the 3 days. So the only event that we'll be having at night is the Labour Award. And it's strictly by invitation. And to those nominees or awardees, if I can put it that way. So that's it. Those are the components for the event itself. Yes. But I think the conference for the private sector players is crucial. These are familiar faces who I know we've had conversation on the sideline, right? So those are issues we want to bring to the floor. It's not just Mr. Bokari and just you, just be talking around it. Now we want to bring it public. We'll discuss it and then we have a position paper, as we are looking into the future of work. So that's it for the event in its entirety. Yes. So instead of, I will be able to answer all of the questions by the grace of God, but I need fresh ideas. What you can inject into these ideas for us to make it better. I think I will really appreciate that one. The mic is around.
I can speak.
Yes, sir. So for the job fair, can students also be part of the job fairs? Maybe we will have students who will be interested to be part of it. Can we also be part as a student?
Yes, it is very clear. I think it did mention, it was going through the statistics based on the data we've received, that you spoke about a high percentage of students who have already registered these are people who want to prepare for the job market. So why not? It's for you. You are job seekers, technically. So want to prepare you for the job market. So that's your event. And it's good for you to be part of it now. So just so that you understand the dynamics when it comes to labor and employment to prepare you for the job market. Interestingly, we are going to have a conversation around the skills gap that we already have in country. We all know what the universities are offering as courses, and based on the labor market, we all know that challenge. And that's why we talk about why you bring in these experts. But the big question is, are we being able to address the skills deficit, or the skill or the types of skills that we have? So those are conversations. So you're welcome as a student, you're welcome as a job seeker.
I just wanted to reiterate what my commissioner just stated about because there's going to be a topic titled Aligning Education and Training with Labor Market Demands. And that is very important because it's easier for us to capture people before they go to the university, because we are moving away from traditional courses. And so employers or those who have been experienced within the labor movement might give suggestions as to what you might want to study within the university, that you don't go maybe to study political science and the like, not that I'm opposed to those in political science, but something that might make you be gainfully employed instead of coming out of the university and trying to find jobs that you might not be able to get.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So mine is in the form of contribution actually, from team lead HR Access Bank. So I know this is the very first one, and you guys are looking at it as the pilot phase. 3 days is very short, so to speak. Maybe you guys will be thinking about having a week, long program. I know, I can understand. It's just my take. Maybe you can consider that. Money will come one day, definitely. Just to consider that.
His ideas are bring money anyway. So we thought about that anyway. During the early planning stage. Can we have it for a week? Can we have it for 2 weeks so that we enjoy the whole thing? But again, resource constraint. So, well, let's see how it goes. Let's pull this one off. I want to believe that we will make it better. Next year, we can have more days. We can do a whole lot of stuff. So, that's a welcome idea for the future, sir. But let's see what we can do for the 3 days that we have at time. That's why we need your support. Not just your participation as an individual or as an institution, but your support, if you know what I mean. Your support is very much key. We can only pull this off with the private sector. You are part of this. We need you. So, anymore. Inject your ideas.
I think I have it's sketchy, but I will just say. Sorry, I'm a human resource person. So, one of the problems I think we're facing, not just having the talent, but also when we call in for interviews, especially those that are different from college. It's their presentation to answer questions. Their presentation of their CVs it's also, even with people that have worked for a while, their CVs, because before we meet you, the person, we need to go through your CV. If your CV doesn't speak volumes, it's hardly that we should listen. So I think that's another aspect that I think as labor we need to also focus on, because sometimes people they do good maybe in the written test, but when we go face to face, when we speak, it's another thing. So I think that's another area we can maybe within the job fair we can have a session where we can engage the students and give them just a brief training on how to answer questions, prepare for interviews, how to present your CV. So I'm just thinking. Thank you.
Yeah. And you're thinking big, and your thoughts align to our thoughts as well. I made mention of this aspect of the skills that we have in country, the courses that are being offered, and what the labor market is asking for. Labor is about demand and supply. Away from that, skills and competency, these are critical issues. And away from that as well, the work ethics is something else. work, culture is something else. So these are conversations definitely we'll inject into the conference. So I'm expecting the HRs definitely to be part of that conversation. We'll create a platform for that because it's affecting us anyway. And people complain that there are no jobs, but they will not be able to discern the other side of the conversation when it comes to skills and competency and work, culture. Somebody will be giving you a barrage of excuses why he or she is not available or being productive or so forth and so on. When they come, begging corner and they're going to work in the floating form. Those are real issues, eh? And so when you look at the end of the day, the productivity is not there. The result is far reaching. So these are conversations we're definitely going to have, just so that the youth will understand some of these things. Yes.
Yes.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Patrick from Sumbad, Associate Manager. I don't know whether this is within your purview or the purview of the local content. I'm not quite aware of any auditing, job auditing, or labor auditing in companies, especially the company that I work. The whole barrage of expatriates working in this company, and I can really sense that some of the expatriates coming, are not relevant to our labor markets because we have, students or nationals or locals that has the strength to occupy certain position. So I don't know whether it's labor that has that responsibility to be auditing companies to see the expatriates grades that are coming to the company as compared to the job market that we have.
Yeah, thank you. So the reason why I'm smiling is the fact that I know for sure whenever there's an engagement with labor, even though there will be a subject matter, there will definitely going to be a subject matter. So well, thank you for drawing our attention to that. I think we are very much aware with respect to the challenge that we have when it comes to expatriate workers coming in. But also bear in mind we have Sierra Leoneans working in the diaspora and somewhere else as expats as well. But as my minister will always say, expatriation is not forever. There is always a plan, a transfer skill plan, a substitution plan. The local content side of it is there as well. You talk about auditing. What we are doing now, we are developing a regulation, that will expand the scope of the Work Permit Act itself. So once we are done with that, it will not be business as usual. But again, we have to find ways as to how we can manage the challenges that we have with respect to the issue that you just mentioned. And that's why earlier on I did mention also the aspect of our responsibility to enrich the job market with competent Sierra Leoneans. So the spirit of the law itself, when it comes to work permit, is for us to be able to reserve or preserve those jobs that are meant for willing, qualified, capable, and available Sierra Leoneans. You can be a Sierra Leone worker, but what if you're not capable? What if you're not available? What if you really don't have the skill? But that's another conversation for another day. We have a responsibility to also maintain the jobs for the Sierra Leone workers, jobs that are meant for them. But again, if we are to address the skill gap, it's great also that kind of forum for them to come, but not forever. There should be a plan to transfer those skills to Sierra Leoneans at the end of the day. That's what we see of things in around the sub-region, in Ghana. And so it's a collaborative effort, not just with the ministry, but local content and other players as well. But that's something we are passionate about, and we are pushing it very strongly. Maybe before the end of this year, definitely we'll come up with a regulation that speaks to that issue. Thank you.
Yeah. Further to that,
on the experts.
On the experts.
Can you talk about resources as to how we can manage this event?
Sorry, I just want to have clarity on that as well. In as much as the experts are actually coming to at least do some training, for our locals. What is the time schedule for them? Because there have been, a time when an expatriate overstays and
so. I'll answer that question, but probably you did not get me right. We are developing a regulation that speaks to the employment quota even before you actually send in your application. There is something we're going to assess, and then we can say to you, you know what, you can come with X, Y, and Z number of, let me say, engineers, so forth, as it depends on the skills. Yeah. So once we have that regulation out, definitely it will address that, and monitoring as well. We have to be able to monitor, to go out and inspect, and then see how best we can address the aspect of skills transfer and so forth and so on. Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Do you have another one?
No, I don't.
No, the next one will be, how can we manage this event?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Any more feedback? The conversation is getting... So these are some of the issues we are going to lay bare that day during the conference, so that we all align our thoughts and look into the future of work for Sierra Leone.
Sure. We
can only make it better, for Sierra Leone workers and investors as well, not just the workers. Yes. You can ask your question, you can talk Korean, you can speak English, just so that we all align. Because once we are done with this meeting for today, our next engagement is the media. We're going to have an official press conference on this one very soon. And then the issue of the boots, I think that's also an urgent aspect of all of this. So for those who are interested, definitely you have to reach out. Or maybe at the end of the day, we have to discuss with the IG for them to give us a clearance, so that we use the street as well. Because labor business is not all my business, right? Yeah. Any more feedback, question, how can we make it better? Nobody wants to talk about resources. Yes, that will be available. And how are we going to get the t-shirt? Yes. Let's have feedback from you. The 29th, the 30th, and the 1st of May. So for those I see, we have emergency, right? You're in the room. Thank you for coming. So I think the job fair also is key. It's critical. It's not just, we want to showcase, our services, regardless, irrespective of the different sectors that we're coming from. So you can have your own space, though we are having red cross around, but you can have your own space. Just so that in the event, we are not saying, but just so that in the event, we can just rush out to emergency. We are not saying there will be an emergency anyway, just in case. Yes. The banking sector here? Yes, I have UTB, I have my brothers. For the banking sector, we are going to have an engagement with the sector. We want to have some conversation with you from the central bank, and there's a subject we want to address from that sector. Agricultural sector here? Yes, we have one. The mining, of course, mining, we have few. Manufacturing, yes. So for the manufacturing, I think for you, definitely, we have to create enough space, just so that you showcase what you have as local produce. We just have to promote the local content aspect of business as well. And that's why you need to actually rush out and secure your space, so you get your booth. We can take one or two and then we call this meeting to a close. You are very busy. Yeah. No, this is labor. The space is free. But if there's anything you can do for us to make it better, that's okay. But the space is free, definitely.
How do you manage this event in terms of resources?
My brother. No, in front of this camera, definitely I will not be able to. I'm constrained to answer that question. But that's a conversation we can have off the camera. So let me know what you have from your own end to make it better. You're so welcome, my brother. But we are determined. It's a challenge, I know. It's new. It's a novelty. It's easy for us, but we are determined to roll it out, to pull it off, and see how. The lessons learned, so we can just move and make it better next year and moving forward with your support as well. Definitely, we'll send letters out related to that. I don't want to, so we're expecting all of us to be part of this and make it better.
Yes, Mr. Abokari.
Yes, sir.
In terms of the trade fair, how prepared are you guys in terms of security, presence?
This is government business, so
yes. Security
is a paramount concern. Every responsible government is to ensure that your people are safe. Sure. Externally, internally. Definitely, we've engaged the IG on that. And I'm sure, based on the conversation we're having now and what I'm thinking now, I know the crowd is going to be big and massive, the booths everywhere. It means we have to seek clearance for the streets around Union eventually. We don't want to deprive the labor sector. We want you guys to celebrate labor come the 29th, 30th, and the 1st. We don't want to deprive. I think the only area we have, laid down criteria is the conference itself, because we had a conference space capacity is 700, and we have more than 1,000 people already, and more will be registered throughout this week. So that's the only area. But the job fair to come, the events, the entertainment aspect, it will be something public. But definitely, security is sure. Yes, ma'am. We are turning this engagement into a press conference now for the sector.
Sorry, I'm late. You may have addressed this question I want to ask. Is it just contained within Freetown, or is it extended to the provinces?
It's public. It's nationwide. It's not a Freetown event. That's why the website is there. Engagement will kickstart next week. Full-blown media engagement. You'll be seeing the flyers, the TikTokers, the bloggers. They'll be doing their own thing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do now as a policymaker to engage the private sector. Yes. So is it that we're all on the same page? Yeah, I can sense the energy and the vibration. So going back, we all have this thought that we all have to put hands on them to pull this one off and make it a success and celebrate them on the 29th, 30th, and the 1st. I think I will take 2 of you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm John from Salon Group. Yes, so I want to just ask you questions. We apply to attend part of the conference. We're going to officially maybe communicate to the people that will access the hall. Because as you said, we have a 700 capacity hall, and there may be more people have applied, and they would love to be in the hall or to be part of the conference. So let's know if we're going to officially communicate to those that may be able to access the hall. And then talking about the booth space, how is that going to happen? Are we going to apply the processes? Maybe you will have addressed that before I came.
Yeah.
But we need to know, so going back to our organizations, we are able to tell them, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to do before time. Organizations, how they plan to give out resources to carry out these things.
Thank you. Two questions, the booths and then the registration. Mr. Remo, you want to go by just for the benefit of the general?
You will receive an email. Not everybody will have access on the day of the conference, but you're free to be around. There will be entertainment, entertainment, and then the job fair around the new building complex. So you can feel free to attend, your employees can attend. But those who will be part of the conference, they will be selected and they will receive an email address with an invitation. And for the dinner, of course, they will be selected as well.
Yes, ma'am. Oh.
sent to institutions?
Okay, so I think, this is a forum where we discuss several issues with respect to the event. But when it comes to requesting for support, of course, we know what to do, we know the formality. It's something transparent and all of that. We have